Okay, let me explain this. Just just a little bit. I just finished watching Elvis, the new movie that came out, and after watching it and doing I guess quite a bit of research and documentaries over the years I've watched, like the Final 24 and stuff like that. All I can say is after everything is said and done, this poor guy got screwed so bad. Like, probably one of the worst I've heard in the music industry. It ended him. Colonel Tom Parker, like, just like the record labels and all that, just, let's be honest, they fucked him so bad. So I thought, you know what? Why not go back in time? Very, very far back in time. At arguably the man that started it all, started rock. I really don't think he did, but he was called the king of rock and roll for a reason. I mean, that's our, he's definitely the top three. I would say, Chuck Berry, Little Richard, B.B. King, Jerry Lee Lewis. The list goes on, but he was the most prominent. So why not really go back to almost where it began? This is Can't Help Falling in Love with You by Elvis. Before I get going, be sure to subscribe. It helps me out so much. Some of these songs, we know the story. We definitely know the story now. We know what happened. We know the outcome, how everything ended, how we got there. So some of these might be a little difficult to listen to, knowing what he went and what he was going through at the time. So let's do this.
Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I stay? Would it be a sin if I can't help falling in love with you?
It's hard to listen to. It was always a little hard to listen to because I did know the story, I guess, loosely. I knew what happened and how all this ended. But, knowing the story in depth, it's it's really hard to listen to, knowing there was some fucking idiot behind the scenes of this, pushing him to do things he didn't want. Not saying he didn't want to do this song, because absolutely he did, but the performances and become a resident of Las Vegas and all that, doing things he didn't okay, is just a complete joke. I mean, I didn't grow up on Elvis. I definitely knew of him. I heard some of his stuff, but my family, my grandparents, my mom, aunts, uncles, all that, they were heavy into Elvis. I'm not saying I didn't like it, because there's definitely a lot to like about Elvis. But saying that, at the same time, I really don't know a lot. I know In the Ghetto, Suspicious Minds, because of the movie mostly. I have heard it, but I didn't really know what it was called. I've heard this Hound Dog. I've heard some of his Christmas stuff. I've heard, but like, I'm willing to bet if I listen to some of his stuff from the beginning of his career, like when he first started taking off to like the end of it, I can almost guarantee, actually, I can promise by the end, there is just going to be so much pain and sadness in his voice, even though he probably tries not to let it come through. Sometimes that's like stopping the tide. When he went through what he did, it's criminal what people did to him. I really think it's a fucking joke.
Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you. Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be.
Hold on, I just have to take a moment. There's like, from that time period, like the whole spanning Elvis's career, there's like a mystique around it now. Even though we pretty much know that story beat for beat, there's still like a mystique. It's a, like, really, like, summarize everything. It's just a really sad story with a really sad outcome. We could have, like, if he was just treated a little bit better, we might, well, maybe not still, but we would have Elvis to like the 90s, early 2000s. How old would he have been? He definitely would have been like, maybe in 7, like around the age of Johnny Cash when he passed. The world got robbed because of greed. Straight up.
Are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you, for I can't help falling in love with you.
He was definitely ahead of his time. Like, I won't, like, if you like Elvis, you don't. Whatever. That is kind of irrelevant. But he was definitely ahead of his time. He was like, I'm trying to think, like maybe one of the first musical rebels. Like, oh yeah, you want me to do this? Okay, that's cool. But I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do this. I'm going to play what I want to play. I don't really care what you think. And he covered just such a wide range of musical styles. He really is timeless. Like, it really doesn't matter how old you are. You could be like 15, 16, you could be 80. There's going to be something, at least a song or two, maybe an album, maybe two albums, that you're going to enjoy. You're going to find something on them you're going to enjoy. You might find the whole thing. To me, as I said, I haven't really heard a shit ton of Elvis's stuff, but I can safely say I really like one of his Christmas albums. I don't even really know which one it is, but around Christmas we would go over to my grandparents for it, the whole family, and she would play the, I think it was just called Elvis's Christmas or something. It was just, she would just put it on the record and just let it go. When it got to the end, she'd flip it over and let it go. I wasn't born anywhere near Elvis's era, but I'm still nostalgic for it. It's just timeless. It's brilliant. He was brilliant. But that was Can't Help Falling in Love with You by the king himself, Elvis Presley. That's it for now. That's it. That's all. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you again real soon. I might listen to another song or two. I haven't heard In the Ghetto in a long time. I haven't heard Suspicious Minds front to back ever. I've heard clips of it, obviously, but I've never heard the whole thing. Maybe I will do that. Later.